Here's a look at this day in history. December 1st.
In 1955, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat in a bus to a white man in Montgomery, Alabama, sparking the Montgomery bus boycott. On this day in 1959, a treaty making Antarctica an international science preserve, free from military activity, was signed. This day in 1997, the Kyoto Convention on Global Warming first met. It would pass the Kyoto Accords to control greenhouse gases. And on this day in 1990, French and British tunnel workers drove through the last few feet of rock that separated their countries. It was the beginning of the Channel, an underground passage that spans the English Channel, the first ground link between Great Britain and continental Europe since the Ice Age. And that's this day in history.
This is Franciscan Media's Saint of the Day for December 1st. Today we celebrate Blessed Charles de Foucauld. Born into an aristocratic French family in 1858, Charles was orphaned at 6 and raised by his devout grandfather. As a teen, Charles rejected Catholicism and joined the army. He was sent to Algeria with his regiment, where he resigned his commission. Inspired by the Jews and Muslims he met in Africa, Charles resumed the practice of his faith upon returning to France in 1886. He first joined a Trappist monastery, transferred to one in Syria, and eventually left there to serve as gardener and sacristan for a Poor Clare monastery in Nazareth. In 1901, Charles went back to France and was ordained a priest. Returning to North Africa, Charles was invited by a former army comrade to live among the Tuareg people in Algeria. He learned their language well enough to compose a Tuareg French dictionary, write poetry, and translate the Gospels into Tuareg. The outbreak of World War I led to attacks on the French in Algeria. When the settlement where he lived was seized in a raid, Charles and 2 French soldiers visiting him were shot to death on December 1, 1916. Charles was beatified in 2005.
For the verse of the day, Psalm 27. Hear my voice when I call, Lord. Be merciful to me and answer me. My heart says of you, seek his face, your face, Lord, I will seek. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger. You have been my helper. Do not reject me or forsake me, God my Savior. And for Bible trivia, yesterday's question, who had a dream of 7 fat cows and 7 thin cows? Answer is Pharaoh. Today's question, what name belonged to the first king of Israel and a man who later wrote more than half of the New Testament? Joke of the day, what are there a lot of when turkeys play baseball? Foul balls. And finally, we have some birthdays. Happy birthday to Maeve and Alex. And those two and everybody have a great day.